Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. There may not be a hotter hitter on the planet right now than the Tigers' Ian Kinsler. 3 more hits last night at .541 average over his last 9 games. And Ian has scored 12 runs in that span as well. Back in the lineup today and another great day here in the Motor City. It's the final game featuring the Tigers and the Boston Red Sox. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Peppa, Ron Allen. We are glad you are with us here today. The Tigers going for 2 out of 3 here against the BOS Sox. And really, there's a little bit of a mini resurgence for the Tigers, Ron. Can be tied a little bit, at least, to Ian Kinsler.
You know, Ian Kinsler has always been an outstanding baseball player. Hit for a lot of power when he was playing for the Texas Rangers. But for the last month or so, he's had a very good, consistent swing path to the baseball. Short, quick swings, and he's been doing a lot of damage.
All right, he's not the only guy. Victor Martinez, another big home run in the ball game last night, turned out to be the game winner. He's really starting to come on now.
You know, about 3 or 4 days ago, Victor looked lost batting left-handed. There was absolutely no bat speed whatsoever. He was flailing at everything, driving balls the opposite way. But lately, he's been turning on some guys that have some pretty good fastballs. That would be Ventura. That piece of cheese was about 94 miles an hour. He got Ventura later in the game, and then he hit a home run last night on a split-fingered fastball against Tazawa. Victor simply on fire right now. He is standing more upright. He has closed off that front foot, which is allowing him to stay closed, hitting up against a firm front side, and we all know he's a career 300 hitter.
All right, Tigers trying to get a win here this afternoon before they hit the road to Kansas City tomorrow. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios with Matt Shepard. How about Bruce Rondon last night? He was throwing smoke. Tigers, Red Sox coming up next. Getting the Tigers ready for battle here this afternoon. The Tigers taking on the Boston Red Sox here in the final game of this 3-game series. Here's the starting lineup for the visiting Red Sox. It is presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Brock Holt leads it off at third base. Rusney Castillo's had a big series. In fact, he's been really good in his last 5. Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop. Ortiz, Shaw, DeAza in the middle of their lineup. Swihart, Rutledge, and Jackie Bradley Jr. batting 9 for Boston. They are facing the right-handed offerings of Justin Verlander, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Verlander had back-to-back starts, one against this Boston squad, the other against the Tampa Bay Rays, where he went 8 innings, got 1 win and 1 no decision, but then he gave up 5 runs to the Kansas City Royals in his last outing. Verlander just needs to go out there and use all of his pitches and compete this afternoon to give his team an opportunity to take the series.
Well, just minutes ago, Verlander was trying to take his warm-up pitches, and there was one problem. They were still meeting on the mound. JV's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, get out of the way.
Let's go.
To the umpires. They got out of the way.
Well, when JV speaks, the umpires listen, so they scattered. And here we go as Brock Holt leads it off on another nice day for baseball here in Detroit. 77 degrees, our game time temp. And here's the first pitch of today's game. It's a strike called on Brock Holt. Holt, Castillo, and Bogaerts, top 3. And the lineup for the Red Sox. No Hanley Ramirez again today. No Pablo Sandoval. He's been injured as well. So 2 of their top hitters out. And the 0-1. 0-2. Brock Holt.
Brock Holt does not have much power, therefore we showed you Ghost in center field, Rajay Davis also in left field, and both playing really shallow.
Holt 2 out of 10 in the series. He's batting .274, couple of home runs this year. That's it. Now the 0-2. Checked and foul, back out of play. Two clouds starting to roll in over the ballpark to make the temperature a little bit more cool and, well, really a nice day here in Comerica. Final game before the Tigers hit the road. It'll be an 8-game trip in 10 days for Detroit. And again the 0-2. Another foul back out of play by Holt. A little bit more breezy this afternoon as well. Verlander trying to shake off his last start. He gave up 5 runs in 7 innings, also allowed 10 hits to the Royals. KC won that game 5-1. And that's pulled down the right field line. It is hooking, and that's going to be a foul ball, and just foul.
Verlander needs to be careful here against the leadoff hitter Holt. He can't allow him to reach first base, especially after he's gotten ahead of him. No balls and 2 strikes. You've got to make a really good pitch here. If Holt does reach, it's got to be an outstanding pitcher's pitch that he's able to reach on. One thing about Verlander, he hasn't walked anybody in his last 3 outings, even though you mentioned the numbers, and we just showed you the numbers in his last start against Kansas City.
18 strikeouts against no walks in his last 3. High fly ball right center field. Lazy fly ball for Anthony Gose.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense. It's presented today by Beaumont Health System. In the outfield is J.D. Martinez, Ghost Davis, Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, Marte, and James McCann, the fine-looking young catcher, getting the start behind the plate again, catching the day game after the night game.
Rusney Castillo will step in with 1 out.
It's had a nice series, Castillo.
The top of their lineup has done pretty well. You got Castillo, you got Bogaerts, of course you got Ortiz in the middle. He's been really good. There's a strike called on Castillo.
Yeah, they'll be fighting for playing time here in the next couple of days. Mookie Betts is set to come back tomorrow from the 7-day concussion list.
.278 for Castillo. That'll back him out of there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rusney from Cuba was signed last August by the Boston Red Sox. After most of the major league teams want to watch him in a showcase. Of course, he's been heavily scouted as well in international play. There's a high pop up right side of the infield for Kinsler, who makes the play. 2 gone. Now Xander Bogaerts. Boston offense has perked up a little bit against Tigers pitching the last 2 days. They came in having scored very few runs. In fact, they only scored 6 in the 3-game series in New York, but 13 runs in the first 2 games in this series.
That man right there has been responsible for a lot of the damage that has been done in the series against Tigers pitching. That would be David Ortiz.
Leave him in the on-deck circle. Bogaerts at 312. 53 driven in for the fine shortstop for the Red Sox. Up and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bogaerts 2 RBIs in the series. He is also 4 for 10. Strike called, 1-2.
That's a well-located fastball at 93 miles an hour thrown by Verlander. You don't get hurt when you're down south of the knees.
Now JV ready with the 1-2. Bogaerts swings and misses. Went fishing in a 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander. His first strikeout of the ballgame. Dugout. Anything to get you ready for baseball here today. The Red Sox went 1-2-3. And now here come the Tigers. Their starting lineup features Davis, Iglesias, and Kinsler. He and Kinsler batting over 300 for the first time since late May. Victor Martinez to follow, then J.D. Martinez, Castellanos, McCann, Marte, and Ghost. The starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And they are facing the left-hander Henry Owens.
Making his second major league start. He made his first major league start 5 days ago in very hostile environment. That was in New York. He did not win that game, and he doesn't throw hard. He's a finesse guy. As we take a peek at his numbers down in the minor leagues this year, 3-8 with a 3.16, but he's one of their best prospects, and that's why he's getting an opportunity.
Changeup is his featured pitch. He stands 6'6", 220.
Yep. Fastball tops out at about 93, but he pitches right around 90, 91. Curveball still a pitch that's developing for him.
Rajai Davis starts it off. Tigers trying to get it going early here against the youngster Henry Owens. The first pitch to Rajai is in for a strike, 0-1. Davis had a big 2-run homer in yesterday's game. The Tigers fell behind 2-0, and then Rajai tied it up with a 2-run shot. No balls, 2 strikes. Owens only 23 years old, born in Orange, California. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Rajay unable to hold up. One gone.
Take a look at the starting defensive alignment for the Boston Red Sox today. It's presented by Tim Hortons, Castillo, Bradley Jr., Diaz in the outfield, Bogarts, Rutledge up the middle, Shaw on the corners, and Swihart, he's the catcher today, catching the youngster Owens. As a matter of fact, both of these guys came up in the minors together, so Swihart, he pretty much knows exactly what Owens likes to do in certain situations because he's caught him so much.
Ball 1 to Iglesias.
That has to be a built-in advantage for a guy like Owens. Swihart's been here a little bit longer, so why not let him lead you?
Now the 1-0 pitch. There's a push bunt back to the mound. And Owens threw it in the dirt. Save at first base as the ball comes loose. Kind of played that nonchalantly, and the first baseman Shaw may be hurt.
He is hurt.
Owens took his time on that. When he realized that Iglesias was barreling down the line, he fired it at the bag.
It's always a very risky play for a first baseman when you have the glove on the left hand and you have to reach into the baseline as that runner is running toward the bag. Oh, he stepped on it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Brad's out there arguing now. They may have called him out of the baseline, and you could see on that last replay that he was really inside the baseline. He was running on the grass, as a matter of fact. Brad's upset here. I think they called him out. That last replay we had really showed how far inside on the grass that Iglesias was on. Boy, he's way on the grass. And there's the out being signaled by Ben May. Boy, Brad really upset. Normally not this animated.
I don't know what it is that Brad is beefing about, because usually it's pretty cut and dry when a guy is running that far inside the baseline and the home plate umpire sees it and makes a call.
Meanwhile, Shaw still being tended to. And Brad continues his argument. He's chatting now with Ted Barrett, who is the crew chief, who is umping at third base today.
You usually see that call made when the catcher's throwing the ball down toward first base, never when the pitcher's throwing. And I think Brad might be saying here, and I don't know for sure, the fact that Iglesias should not have come into play as far as Owens is concerned, throwing the ball to first base from this angle.
I think that's the only possible argument, because clearly he's out of the baseline, way on the infield grass. But if that's the catcher trying to make that play, then that is a hindrance.
And really, Iglesias running where he ran made no difference in that play, as far as I'm concerned. But rules are rules.
The putout, by the way, goes 1-3, and they're wrapping Shaw's hand. So a break for the Red Sox there. 2 outs, and it'll be Kinsler when we resume play. What looked like a routine play for Owens turned into a bit of a mess. Threw the ball at the bag, and he ends up getting his first baseman spiked. So here is the red-hot Ian Kinsler, 5 for 8 in the series. You're almost stunned when he doesn't get on these days. His average up over 300. It's at 302. Ball 1 outside to Kinsler. Ian had a really big hit last night. Now he had 3 hits in the game, but his 2-out single in the 7th kept the inning going. And then Victor followed with a 2-run homer that turned out to be the game-winning home run. Here's the 2-0. In there, 2-1 on Kinsler, who disagreed with that call. Ben May, the home plate umpire today. Ian ropes one down the third base line and right by Brock Holt. On his way to second base, and he will pull in there. Oh, Kinsler out again. 2-out, 2-base hit.
It's a changeup that stays up that Owens throws. Usually he buries that changeup at the bottom of the strike zone. Looked like Holt at third base could have made this play off his glove. But Ian Kinsler is credited with a double.
So once again, Kinsler keeps an inning going, and now Martinez will step in. Ian, since July the 1st, awfully healthy numbers. Victor, 2 out of 8 in the series. The big home run last night was the game winner. Oh, 1.
Last night's game was kind of sleepy until the 5th inning, and then both squads continued to jockey back and forth as far as the score was concerned. But this is the big blow by Victor Martinez.
Wade Miley last night was like a hypnotist the first 3 or 4 innings.
Yeah, he was cruising.
Here's the 0-1. That floats outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There's the breaking ball featured there by Owens. You can see that he kind of telegraphs. It kind of slows his arm speed down when throwing that pitch. And I'm sure some of the veteran Tigers hitters can pick up on that.
Martinez, 9 home runs, 45 RBIs. And Victor fouls it off of the catcher. 1-2. These two guys are intertwined, Martinez and Henry on the mound. When Martinez left the Red Sox and signed that free agent contract with Detroit, Boston got a supplemental pick in the 1st round for that, and you're looking at it. Henry Owens was selected. Boy, did he dominate the minor leagues.
He's a finesse pitcher. Usually guys that are drafted very high are hard throwers, especially when they stand 6 feet 6 inches. But he knows how to pitch for a young kid. Realizes that he's not going to overpower major league hitters.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Martinez is out of there, and Tigers stranded 2-out double. We go to the 2nd.
Tigers this year, and really he has done a lot of damage against the Tigers in his career. So Justin Verlander is facing Big Papi just the way that he wants to, with nobody on base. Although Big Papi is standing in scoring position as we speak in that batter's box.
It's been quite a series for Ortiz. 5 RBIs, couple of home runs. 563 this season versus Detroit.
Every time Big Papi stands in that batter's box, it really doesn't matter which squad he is playing against. They play the shift on him. Heavy shift to the right side of the infield.
Had a big single in last night's ball game that beat the shift. He hit it back up the middle out of the reach of Kinsler, which knocked in a couple of runs. 65 RBIs this year for David Ortiz.
He stands right on top of the dish, and he absolutely punishes fastballs inside.
Went the other way that time and flailed it foul out of play 1-1.
Speaking of the other way, I'm surprised the Tigers have not made Big Papi hit the ball the opposite way a little bit more often. All of that video that we showed you was all damage to the pull field by David Ortiz. Now you have to make him go the other way. If he beats you there, you can live with it.
Well, these days, a single to left field is considered a victory against this guy.
For sure.
2-1. Ortiz last night moved into 35th place all time in runs batted in. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
It's an outstanding changeup here thrown by Verlander in a predictable fastball count. And if you can do this consistently, you're going to get good hitters to look just like David Ortiz looked on this swing.
Swing and a miss. That was up in the zone. Fastball high and away. Struck him out. Second of the ball game for JV.
Just a wonderful sequence by Justin Verlander. The previous pitch was a changeup down. Then he changes the eye level of David Ortiz with a four-seam fastball at 93 upstairs that David couldn't catch up to.
Here's Travis Shaw. .313 batting average. Shaw has not been in the big leagues very long. It's a 9th round pick back in 2011 of the Boston Red Sox. Follows straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Verlander liking his changeup here today. He's thrown several good ones. That was one to Shaw.
Shaw was called up on August 1st from Pawtucket, their AAA team. Here's the 1-1. Not really a whole lot of data at the big league level for Shaw in terms of how they want to play him, so they're fairly straight up against him defensively, on the infield at least. Now Verlander's 2-1. 2-2. Tigers really down the stretch here, Rod, need Verlander to find some consistency. He had the 2 really good starts in a row, and then KC beat him up a little bit in his last start.
Well, he's got to be the ace of the staff. There's no more Max Scherzer. David Price is gone now. Verlander has to reestablish himself as the ace of the staff, and he needs to give this team a legitimate chance of winning every time he takes the ball, every 5th day. It's that simple for a guy the caliber of a Justin Verlander that's been where he's been and has done what he has done.
It's low, and a walk for Shaw, their first base runner of the game.
He's also going to have to be a leader of some of the other younger guys on the staff now, because he's the elder statesman in the rotation as we speak.
You look at his last 3 starts, he has been better than the previous 6 starts, but that's a great point. I mean, you got guys like Daniel Norris now, and Boyd has come over. They're both in the rotation. And JV has been there, done that in terms of what he's accomplished in the game. But the injury kept him on the DL at the start of the year, and he really never has gained a lot of traction. He's had good starts here and there. Diaz with a big swing. So that walk right there is the first in the last 24+ innings for Justin.
Yeah, he had gone 3 straight games without issuing a walk.
Which, by the way, was the longest streak of his career without issuing a base on ball.
Lots of pickoffs for Justin Verlander in his major league career. Very few right-handers have picked off more than Justin since he's come to the big leagues. Very quick feet. Very accurate when throwing the ball over to first base as well. 25 since 2006. Only James Shields and A.J. Burnett are better than Verlander. Johnny Cueto also on that list. We're going to see him again in Kansas City in a couple of days.
Yeah, the probables are in for the Royals series, and the Tigers will see Cueto, Ventura, Volquez.
We're going to see their best.
Tigers will have Boyd, Sanchez, Norris in that set. The 0-2. Diaz laid off. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's a nice job by Diaz. He's homered a couple of times against Justin Verlander in his career. That's the reason why he's in the game. He did that when he was playing for the Chicago White Sox. He's also punched out 10 times against Justin in 34 at-bats.
Ground ball, nice stop at first base. Still fired to second one, relayed at first. Safe. Verlander and Marte were on the bag, and JV had to jump out of the way.
Well, Verlander just needs to recognize that particular situation. There are times where you, as a pitcher, you have to cover the bag. But in this particular situation, because Marte was not that far away after he made the throw, if you're Justin, you simply have to stop because Marte was able to get back to the bag and take the throw himself. Justin did his job, but he also has to recognize that when he sees Marte getting back, he has to peel out of the way. Marte's done a pretty nice job over at first base for a guy that has never really ever played there.
You know what? He's improved dramatically, really, in a short amount of time. When he first started playing first base after being called up this year at the major league level, it at times was not pretty. But in this series, he's been awfully good. As he continues to get reps down there. Brad was saying before the game today he still feels that Alex Avila right now is their best defensive first baseman with Cabrera out. But Marte's done nice work. There's a strike at the knees of Blake Swihart. Big series for Swihart. A 3-hit game yesterday. 4 for 5 in the series. Couple of runs scored. Pulled on the ground to the right side. To the grass goes Kinsler. It crawls up his arm, and everybody is safe. That'll put 2 on for the Red Sox.
That ball appeared to hit right off the lip right there and jump up on Ian Kinsler and right over the glove. He was expecting that ball to stay down. It did not. And Ian Kinsler, and he usually makes that play all day, every day.
So a 2-out threat now for Josh Rutledge. 1 for 11 in a Boston uniform. He came over from the Angels in the Shane Victorino trade. And there is ball 1 to Rutledge. They have charged the second baseman Kinsler with an error, leaving 2 men out. Rutledge swings and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
95 with that fastball by Justin. Real nice, smooth, easy delivery, and the ball just simply exploded out of his hand.
Verlander reaching back now with a couple of runners on here in the second. Rutledge was at Salt Lake City, the Angels AAA team this year for most of the year. .272 hitter there. That one's right back up the middle. Here comes Iglesias, and he has no play. Everybody is safe. They're loaded up.
As fast as Iglesias' hands are, he could not make the exchange to get the ball to first base here to get Rutledge, so he threw behind the runner, hoping that Swihart would round the bag a little bit too far, which he didn't.
So not a very impressive inning for the Red Sox in terms of how hard they've hit the ball, but they got the bases loaded. Walk, infield single, and air.
They might not want to throw Bradley Jr. a fastball here right down the middle. Maybe something off speed, keep him off balance.
Fastball up at 96.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the Verlander velocity here today. But a lot of his fastballs have been up in the zone. I don't know if that's by design or not.
Jackie Bradley Jr. hitting 121 this year. And he missed again, 2-0. Bradley's been on base a couple of times, scored a couple of runs for the Red Sox in the series. Here's the 2-0. 3-0 on the number 9 hitter with the bases loaded. And he's taking all the way. A strike call, 3-1.
If you're Bradley Jr., you can take another pitch if you want to.
See if he forces JV to throw another strike. He will take. That's ball 4, and that forces in a run. A base is loaded. Walk to the number 9 hitter, Jackie Bradley,
who's batting 121.
Well, that's a tough one to swallow. It's 1-0 Boston now, back up to the top in Brock Holtz.
I know he probably has done this at some point in time, but I cannot remember since Verlander has been here him walking in a run with the bases loaded.
Nothing comes to mind, but I'm sure it's happened somewhere along the line. But especially in that situation, a guy hitting 121. Holtz looks at a strike, 0-1. Fly ball to center field his first time up. Two for 11 in the series for Brock Holtz. Sawed him off, little roller, right side of the infield. Kinsler throws, and off the bag was Marte. He didn't get to the base.
Well, Marte, as we just mentioned, he is not necessarily all that comfortable over at first base. And here's a situation where he took 2 steps toward the baseball, and then once Verlander didn't get it, and Ian Kinsler was able to get it, Marte was tardy in getting back to the bag and never able to get there. He simply should have just went to the bag knowing where Kinsler was playing, and then they get themselves an out and get out of the inning. It's unfortunate.
So another run scores to make it 2-0 Boston, and again nothing out of the infield. Here's Rusney Castillo. JV now has thrown 27 here in the second inning. Castillo popped up in his first at bat. Ball 1 inside. Well, that Verlander fastball, man, it's in the mid-90s now, 95, 96. Trying to cut this inning off here. It's the 8th man to bat in the inning. And Outside again, 2-0 the count.
Every fastball that Verlander continues to throw here in this inning has missed up in the strike zone, up and into the right-handers, up and away to the left-handers. An indication of Verlander is violently opening up with that front shoulder. Therefore, the arm is lagging, not able to catch up, and the balls are staying up in the strike zone.
Swing and a miss.
He helped him out there.
That was ball 3. Two and one on Rusty Castillo. Ball high, 3-1. And the crowd getting a little bit restless as the pitch count continues to elevate for Verlander here in the second. Here's the 3-1. We'll get back out of play. Marte giving a look.
Take a look at the Verlander delivery here today. We've talked about the velocity. It is way up, but look at where he's releasing the ball. Not out in front as far as he should be. Therefore, a lot of these fastballs are simply staying up in the strike zone. You've got to create that angle if you're Justin Verlander to be able to throw that ball straight downhill into the glove of James McCann.
Full count, 3-2. Runners will be on the move here. And a ground ball left side. Castellanos has it. And the inning is over. They get a couple of runs, leave them loaded. We go to the bottom of the second. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. By Ram Trucks. Find your summer of fun with great deals in the Ram Summer Clearance Events. And by Spartan Stores. For locations, visit turntospartan.com. Well, what a gorgeous day here this afternoon in downtown Detroit. A nice shot of Belle Isle there. Beautiful aerial view of Belle Isle. A beautiful view of one of the more beautiful ballparks in the American League, Comerica Park. Another big crowd here this afternoon as the Tigers now will go to work against the lefty Owens. J.D. Martinez will lead it off. Ball 1 from Owens. Castellanos and then James McCann in the Tigers' second. There's a strike on the outer edge, 1-1.
He's got some nice run to his fastball. away from the right-handers. Throws from a low 3/4 arm slot. Fastball 89 to 92 miles an hour.
1-2.
He's a surfer too, Mario. He looks like a surfer, doesn't he?
Well, he's from SoCal.
Blonde hair.
Went to high school at Edison High School in Huntington Beach.
It's a nice area, man.
Born in Orange. Now, if you're 6'6", it's got to be extra tough to be able to learn how to surf, don't you think?
You would think that it would be a little bit more difficult for a guy that stands that tall versus, let's say, a guy, Brad's size,
right,
for instance, who likes to surf too.
We'll ask Brad about that tomorrow. I'm sure he can't wait to answer that question.
Daniel Norris is a surfer too.
He is. 2-2 on J.D. Martinez. Now, you're a Southern California kid. Did you ever surf?
No, but I hung out with a lot of guys that surf, though. Yeah, a lot of my friends surf.
Here's the 2-2. That'll get back out of play.
I was too busy playing some baseball or football or basketball or something. Hanging out at the boys club.
Now, admit it, you didn't know how good you had it growing up in Santa Monica.
I did not. I had no idea.
The ocean in your backyard.
Took it for granted.
Yep. Now J.D. waiting again on a 2-2. It's down the right field line, slicing foul. Well, it's been a remarkable year for Martinez. His average at 291. He's hit a career-high 30 homers. And 74 driven in.
Everything Owens has thrown to J.D. Martinez so far in this at-bat has been away from him. Now here comes the changeup.
Missed way outside with it. 3-2.
Swihart wanted the fastball inside, but Owens did not want to throw that pitch.
J.D. will take his walk.
Looked like he wanted nothing to do with Martinez there.
Do not blame him. Leadoff man on. We'll bring up Castellanos.
Owens in his first start against the New York Yankees held the Yankees left-handed batters hitless. They were 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts. Therefore, the only left-hander in the lineup today against Owens is Anthony Gose.
Strike one to Castellanos. Nick 2 out of 7 so far in the series. He has done well this year against lefty pitching. 342 against the left-handers. Ooh, there goes the bat. Heads up.
Ooh, nice launch.
It's the best way to describe it. It was a launch.
That would have had some distance. That ball also bit Swihart on the right shoulder.
Is that Miggy trying to catch that bat?
That's what it looked like.
0-2.
Might not be too long before we see Miggy. Maybe on the next road trip at some point in time.
So Brad said it's a possibility at the end of the road trip. Or as it's looking at the very latest, the next homestand, he's going to run bases and he's going to face live pitching, live BP in Kansas City on Tuesday. He's on the comeback trail. And it certainly changes the presence of your lineup when you have that guy smack dab in the middle.
It always helps when you have the best hitter in baseball on your team.
The 0-2. Tried to thread the needle there in the outside corner with a fastball, but missed. Owens was voted as having the best changeup in the Red Sox minor league system each of his first 3 years as a pro in the minor leagues. Struck out a lot of batters in the minors as well. High pop up. That's in the shallow right field. Long run for the second baseman Rutledge. One gone.
You don't hear about guys the age of Owens that come up through the minor league system that already have above average changeups. Usually the changeup is a pitch that a lot of guys learn once they get to the big leagues. At least it's a pitch they learn to perfect when they get to the big leagues, because most #1 draft choices are always hard throwers.
Here's James McCann. Brings us to the Bernstein advantage. The pitcher batter matchup. We'll go McCann this time in the series against Boston, pitching pretty good, 5 for 8 and 2 doubles.
He was batting about 240 about 3 weeks ago. He's all the way up to 290 now, James McCann.
A really good point about changeups and guys when they get to the big leagues not having one that is as developed as Owens has it. Remember, Bonderman never could really develop that changeup.
Never. They're still trying to get Shane Green to get comfortable throwing a changeup. That's why they had to send him back down to the minors again, because he can't figure it out.
And it just elevates guys to the next level when they're able to master that pitch. Well, Owens has gotten here having mastered it already. That's in for a strike. 1-1 on McCann.
Well, look no further than some of the Tigers starters. Guys like Pfister when he was here, Price, Scherzer, Sanchez, Verlander, all of them have really good changeups.
Ball high to McCann, 2-1.
Tell you who had a good changeup the other day for Boston, Joe Kelly.
He did.
That changeup was nice. He was featured a couple nights ago.
Yeah, it looked like Kelly was going to cruise at times in the game. Kelly threw 3 scoreless against the Tigers till JD got him for a 2-run shot in that first game.
Owens works very slow.
He does. Here's the 2-1. 3-1, which is in stark contrast to last night's starter Wade Miley, who may even be faster than Mark Burley, or at least comparable. Literally got it and threw it.
My kind of guy.
Yep. And he missed outside. It'll be a walk for McCann. A couple of base on balls here in the second. Tigers did make a roster move in terms of their bullpen. Looks like Todd Gorsalani's back.
Well, apparently Gorsalani was pitching some pretty good baseball down in the minor leagues. He changed his arm slot. He's more to a low 3/4 arm slot now. They say it's really helped him start to command his pitches, and hopefully he can pitch the way they thought that he was going to pitch when he initially made the team out of spring training. Shane Green just hadn't been able to figure it out since the first month of the year.
Brad did say before the game today that they still firmly believe he will get it figured out and be a really good starting pitcher at this level.
Stuff's there.
There's ball 1.
Tigers doing a very nice job of making Owens throw the ball over the plate. Every single fastball against the right-handers, he has tried to hit the outside corner, but he's missed out there. And the Tigers hitters, they have not helped him out by swinging at those pitches.
Marte skies one in the air to right field. That's playable for Castillo. And Rusney gets it back in for out number 2. That'll bring up Anthony Gose.
See what kind of adjustment here Owens has to make against the left-handed batting Gose. This is the first left-hander that he has seen in the game, and it's the only left-hander he will see. And a lot of times when you've seen 8 straight right-handed batters, it's a little difficult for you to make that arm slot adjustment. We'll see.
Ghost had 2 hits in the Thursday game against KC, but is 0 for 7 in this series.
You can see why Owens could be tough on left-handers. It's not Chris Sale, but he does stand on the first base side of the pitching rubber. And he's 6 feet 6 inches, and he throws from a low 3/4 arm slot. So there's a lot of deception here in the delivery to a left-handed batter. He is basically releasing this ball behind Anthony Ghost.
Ground ball, first base side, foul.
Here's his delivery to the left-hander standing on the first base side of the pitching rubber. Long arms, long lanky body. Lots of deception. And is he throwing that thing across his body?
The Sale comparison's a good one. Obviously not in stuff, but in arm angle, body build. The 1-1. Little number right back to the mound. Owens will throw to first to retire the side, and the Tigers get a couple of walks with strand 2. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire.
This guy in waiting, but he hit only 240 last year, so they began to wonder if they made the right choice. But Xander Bogaerts, man, has he been on point all year offensively, and he's also acquitted himself very nicely at the shortstop position. Brian Butterfield handles the infielders for the Boston Red Sox, and he's worked long and hard with Bogaerts, and because of that, Bogaerts has become a really nice defender at shortstop.
Xander Bogaerts, 311, among the American League batting leaders. And he will get things started here in the top of the 3rd. First one fouled straight back. Verlander had a little bit of trouble with walks in the 2nd. He walked a couple, including Bradley Jr. with the bases loaded to force in a run. And JV had a 33-pitch 2nd inning, so he's looking for a snappy 3rd.
Speaking on Xander Bogaerts, since May 31st, he's been the best hitter in the major leagues. One of the best hitters in all the majors.
Here's the 0-1. Xander is from Aruba, and he's got a twin brother named Jair, and they were both signed by the Red Sox at the same time. In fact, Jair was considered a really good prospect as well, but when they got to the States and got into the minor leagues, it was Xander that kind of took off.
Xander, very intelligent fella, too. He speaks 4 languages.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. His brother Jair spent 2 years in the minor leagues and kind of fizzled out. He is a sports agent now. Meanwhile, Xander has become one of the better shortstops in the American League.
good for Jair. Just go ahead and represent the brother. You get paid one way or another.
Let someone else do the work. That's outside 2-2. Two runs on 2 hits for the Red Sox. No runs, 1 hit for the Tigers. The 2-2 pitch. Bouncing ball left side. Castellanos had it played off the line and perfectly.
Yeah, David Ortiz has done major damage already in the series against the Tigers. Here's our bell tire pitch by pitch and how Verlander was able to attack Big Papi the first time David came up in the first inning with the bases empty. He fell behind him, 2 balls and 1 strike, and then he came back with an outstanding changeup, and then he changed his eye level, went upstairs with a heater at 93 that Ortiz couldn't catch up to. You saw David Ortiz asking the home plate umpire, Ben May, was that ball up?
Drilled toward left center field and short hopped by Rajai Davis.
That's a win for the Tigers. Yeah, you brought it up last time that Ortiz was up. All the damage that he has done against the Tigers pretty much in his career has been into the seats in right field and to the pull field. Make him hit it the other way for a single. He's not going to steal second.
So Ortiz continues to hit well against Verlander. He is 11 for 29 now against JV. Travis Shaw started the trouble in the second with a walk.
Last night, David Ortiz had his 425th plate appearance of the season, which kicked in $11 million for next year. And that number can go all the way up to $16 million this year, depending on how many more at-bats Big David Ortiz gets. How about that?
So with every plate appearance, cha-ching, he's hearing that in the background.
Yep.
Get to certain levels. That's a lot of dough. That's in there, a strike call.
People ask all the time about Ortiz and the possibility of him getting into Cooperstown at some point in time. I say yes. I say he's going to be the first full-time designated hitter to make it into Cooperstown.
I don't think I could argue with that. I would tend to agree with you. And when you look at the raw numbers, they're really close. That's driven toward left field, hit pretty well. On the move is Rajai Davis, still going back. And Ortiz retreats. Talking about Big Papi, and well, he's got 20 or more homers and 20 or more doubles, 14 consecutive years. The other thing about Ortiz, when you consider Hall of Fame, is, I guess, the clutch factor.
Right.
He's had so many clutch hits in his career,
and he's led Boston to championships.
Here's Diaz.
Diaz is a good fastball hitter. Always has been a good fastball hitter. Got a little pop in his bat.
All right, here's a question for you concerning Ortiz in the Hall of Fame. Should he get in before Edgar Martinez?
I think he's been a better hitter than Edgar Martinez. Me personally, Edgar was a fine player. He's got the award named after him, the award that goes to the best designated hitter after every year. But I don't think the numbers are comparable. Ortiz, if you stack up Martinez's numbers against each other.
I think the hits are comparable, but that's probably about it. I mean, you're probably talking RBIs, home runs.
No championships for Edgar. The Mariners weren't very good in those days. Very seldom were they playing on national television. And they play out on the West Coast pretty much, Pacific Northwest to be exact.
1-1 Diaz. Strike call.
Good fastball there thrown by Justin.
Pretty good. 2,252 hits for Ortiz. I told you how many years he's gone. 2020, 14 consecutive homers, doubles.
He's going to get to 500 home runs. He already has 500 doubles. It's a stretch whether he gets to 3,000 hits or not.
Yeah, we said the hits were comparable. Edgar had 2247, so David's had a few more hits. And, you know, if he goes on a tear here the last month and a half, he could get to 500 this year. It's unlikely. He's at 489, but possible. Diaz waits on a 1-2, and he yanks it foul down the right field line. 2-0 Boston with the lead. They got a couple, and I mean scratched in a couple in the second. A bases loaded walk and an infield single plated 2.
Verlander really has Diaz set up for a real good fading changeup down and away. If he decides to throw that pitch, we'll see what McCann wants to throw. Every pitch for the most part has been inside to Diaz.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Good pitch.
Diaz down on strikes. No runs and a hit. 1 man left. Unbelievable. The Blue Jays, if they win today, are a game and a half out.
8 straight, too. If they win, they've already won 7 straight.
Wow. Well, Tigers here have some work to do. They're down by a couple of runs. A nice day for baseball here at Comerica. Final day, the Tigers fans can see their home team for about another week and a half.
Henry Owens made his major league debut 5 days ago in the Bronx in New York, pitching in front of 40,000 fans. He's pitching in front of 40,000 fans again here today at Comerica Park. It's got to be a big difference from pitching in AAA.
Yeah,
you get into the big leagues pitching in front of 40,000.
Pawtucket's a really great franchise and has been for a lot of years in the minor leagues, but not quite the crowds that he's seen in his first 2 major league starts.
They still call it McCoy Stadium.
Not sure.
Something like that they used to call it.
I was corrected by a Rhode Island native, I suppose, who said it's not Pawtucket, it's Pawtucket.
Okay.
So you got to pronounce it Pawtucket. Cut it off. The 2-1. 2-2 on Davis.
Wow, he struck Rajay out his first time on a very uncomfortable looking swing on a fastball. Here's the circle change. And that was a beautiful look at it. That one didn't fade down and away as much as some of the other ones he's thrown to the right-handers, but it's above average pitch for Henry. And he's comfortable enough to throw that changeup right here. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And he missed with it. Rajay drops the bat, and that's another walk for the lefty Owens. Sooner or later, these are going to catch up with him. Hey, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's Steak and Egg Burrito. So with the leadoff man on, here is Jose Iglesias. His average now at 308.
I'm sure Rajai Davis has probably watched some video on Henry Owens. He's never been on first base when Owens has been on the mound, so he really does not know what kind of move he has other than watching him on video. So we'll see if Rajai feels like he can get a good enough jump here to steal a base.
Step off move there, and his throw was targeted.
Okay, so you've seen that move. You should have seen the outfit Rajai walked into the clubhouse with today.
Oh, I can't imagine. What color? Green.
Green with white window panes on the jacket and white patches on the sleeves with white buttons and a green tie.
What shade of green? Are we talking like highlighter green?
No, it's kind of what kind of green? It's a little bit
olive.
Olive, sort of, maybe a little bit darker than olive, though.
Really? Here's the 1-0. We've got some guys that can dress on this team, man. Vizquel, have you seen some of the stuff Vizquel wears?
Yeah, I have. And Anthony Ghost was funny, though, because he was looking at Rajai and he was saying, he's got a guy. Talking about he's got a tape. He said, I don't have a guy, and you don't have a guy. But Rajai, he's got a guy.
And he'll draw another throw. So Davis trying to measure Owens here. Leadoff walk, and Owens has gone 2-0 on Iglesias.
Yeah, so Iglesias is going to get a really good pitch to hit here. And because Owens is paying so much attention to Rajai.
Oh, there's no chance to throw him out there. Rajai keeps going. What a read. I don't think he even saw that. He just rounded second and kept going.
He's just a bona fide thief. The second baseman, Rutledge, tried to deep Rajai Davis and thinking there was going to be a play. But Rajai, when he took off from first base, he took a look in right there. So he saw that the ball had not been caught. So even though Rutledge was trying to deep Rajai, he was not buying it. He knows right now that he can continue to go. Great, great shot there.
Stolen base, wild pitch. And a strike called on Iglesias, 3-1.
That's what speed will do. Owens was paying a lot of attention to Rajai Davis. All of a sudden, he fell behind Iglesias. 2 balls, no strikes, and he throws the wild pitch.
Three-2 now on Jose.
2 strikes for the most part this year has not been an issue for Jose. As a matter of fact, a lot of times when he has 2 strikes on him, he turns in his best at bat.
Nor have left-handed pitchers, 370 against lefties this year. Popped him up. This will not get her done. The first baseman, Shaw, in foul ground. Rajai holds it third, 1 away. So here is Kinsler. Ian, another hit in the first inning, a double. Which makes him 6 for 9 in the series. It seems like every at-bat he is up there. He'll drive the count to 2-0 to start the at-bat. Always gets himself in a good hitter's count. Strike 1 that time as Owens hit the inside corner. Kinsler, since the All-Star break, is hitting a cool .411. Foul away, now it's 0-2. Red Sox will give up a run here. The infield is back with 1 out. And And that is 50 now for Henry Owens. Fouled away. Victor waiting on deck. Tigers have had scoring chances in each of the first 3 innings. They had a double in the first, couple of walks in the second. Now a walk, a steal, and a wild pitch, advancing the runner to third. It's another pop-up, but this one back into the seats. And even 50 RBIs for Ian Kinsler. Slow start this year, but he's come on post All-Star break. Last year the reverse. He was hot early and then slow toward the end of the year.
He's been on fire for about a month now.
Again, the 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another foul back out of play. Owens the last 2 years had more strikeouts than any other minor leaguer, almost 11 strikeouts per 9 in the minors. What a year he had last year. Won 17 games in 2 stops, AA, AAA. Ball high, even the count now at 2-2.
It's a really good at bat so far, turned in by Ian.
Another pop-up. Shaw's going to take this one. So 2 cracks with a runner at third base. Davis is still anchored there. 2 outs.
We were talking about Victor last couple of days, and Menards brings you the big money encounter a few days ago against the Kansas City Royals. Victor Martinez did not have his legs underneath him. You could see these swings. His hands are way too far away from his body. But the last couple of days, he's gotten the hands a little bit closer. He's standing a little bit more upright, and he's been able to do a little bit more damage to the pull field as far as the power is concerned. Mario, one of the things that we always talk about, if your hands get too far away from your body, you're not going to be able to generate the kind of power you'd like to generate. Look at the hands here on the home run. Now look how far the hands are away here, and the butt sticking out. There's no power in that swing on the left, and that's the biggest difference in Victor the last few days. Standing more upright, generating more power, much more bat speed.
And he looks at strike 1. Now, is that related, do you think, to the knee, or is it just mechanically just getting out of whack?
You know, I asked Wally Joyner that today, and Wally Joyner said that there is absolutely nothing wrong with Victor's knee. He said that Victor is running well, Victor is sliding. He has not heard one thing come out of the clubhouse regarding Victor's knee. So I think it was just a simple adjustment of turning that front foot in a little bit closer, hitting up against a firmer front side. He got that recommendation from Willie Horton. And then, of course, Wally Joyner stood him straight up.
Driven to center field, dropping in a base hit, a clutch 2-out single for Victor.
Good teammate there. Picked up Iglesias. He also picked up Ian Kinsler.
Victor gets his 46th RBI, 2-1 ball game.
Career 300 hitter from both sides of the plate, goes down to the bottom of the zone to get a changeup. Doesn't try to do too much with it. You can see the balance here is incredible. Really good balance for Victor.
After pop-ups of Iglesias and Kinsler, it's Martinez coming through with 2 outs.
Tigers took optional batting practice this morning on the field, which means that usually that's reserved for all your younger players, all your guys that don't play every day. But guess who was out there with all of them? Victor Martinez out there taking some batting practice early this morning with the rest of the young kids.
Well, here is J.D. Martinez. So the Tigers finally get one of those walks to come around and score. 2-1 ball game.
Pitch J.D. away. J.D.'s first time up, and he goes away again with the first pitch fastball to J.D.
But J.D. has so much power to right field that sometimes it doesn't matter.
That's a great point, man.
I mean, for me, it's hard to figure out how to pitch to this guy.
You got to pitch him in. Really, you do.
Here's the 0-1. 0-2.
In the last 50 years, there's only been a couple of Tigers get to the 30-home run plateau the same time J.D. has. Miggy, Prince Fielder. Look at that. Look at that.
10 to left, 10 to center, 10 to right. Here's the 0-2. High, 1-2. Just looking at some numbers on Martinez, his projected numbers for the rest of the season, if he stays on the pace that he's on right now, which obviously is very hot pace. 44 homers, 108 RBIs. What a season that would be for a guy that was released last year.
Pretty special.
Hit this one straight up to center field. Who wants it? The left fielder De Aza coming in, but he's called off. Bradley makes the catch, and the Tigers settle for 1 run. 3 in the books here at Comerica. Bubblegum, piece of bubblegum on his hat. And well, Daniel talked about what became the rally bubble.
You know, I couldn't really help the team win the other night, you know, when I pitched, but I think the rally bubble helped us win last night. So
it's got a name. It's the rally bubble now. That's official.
Yeah, that's official.
And so now everybody's going to be checking their hats when things are going well in a particular game.
I'd say for the next week or so, yeah.
Well, today was certainly qualified. The Tigers are going to have to come back in this one as we go to the fourth. Still early in this game, but who knows? Who might see another rally bubble?
Well, a couple of days ago, it was a rally squirrel running around here.
Yeah. And we had a rally bird.
Back in 06, it was gum time.
Here's the 0-1 to Blake Swihart. He fouls that one off the mask of McCann. 0-2 the count. James took the brunt of that one, but seems to be okay. Swihart, Rutledge, and Bradley here in the fourth inning.
like a mosquito bite there to can.
I asked Brad the other day during the media session what it's like for a catcher to take a foul tip like that and how much it actually hurts. And he said, of course, he took a lot of them in his career over 18 years. He said it's more loud than painful. It's just the impact is so loud, especially with that kind of mask right there, the catcher's mask, as opposed to the old-time mask. Slapped down the left field line, foul, back out of play. Two runs on 3 hits for the Red Sox, a run on 2 hits for the Tigers today in the final game in this series. Kansas City, Houston, and Chicago. The next road trip, the Cubs, that is.
It's going to be a tough road trip. 3 good baseball teams. Houston is legit. We know all about the Kansas City Royals. And don't look now, but the Chicago Cubs, if the season was to end today, they would be in the playoffs.
They right now have the second wild card position in the National League.
How about that?
They are 61-48. Joe Madden working his magic.
He's good at that.
Driven in the air to right field, hit pretty good. Martinez and Ghost. Martinez. One gone.
Kansas City Royals first in the Central. Eric Hosmer simply on fire. How about that? 155 homers already by the Houston Astros.
Kyle Schwarber is the latest young phenom to come up for the Chicago Cubs. Here's Rutledge. 0-1.
Theo Epstein is working that same magic in Chicago as their president that he did when he was in Boston as their general manager. Stockpiling a lot of really good talent.
The 1-0 pitch. Well, we talked about Joe Madden and the impact he's had on the Cubs in his first year. Where do you fall on that? Are you one that believes that a manager can impact a lot of games throughout the course of the year?
A guy like Madden, for sure, as loose as he keeps the clubhouse. He is one of your brightest managers in the game as well, as far as the X's and the O's are concerned. He can handle the media. There's really nothing that Madden cannot do. He has all the intangibles of being a really good manager. He also managed in the minor leagues for a long time before being a coach in the big leagues. So he does have that gift, in my opinion, to help his team win several games.
2-1 on Rutledge.
What's your take on that?
Well, he's a very analytical guy. He has different methods. You know, we've talked oftentimes about all the wacky type road trip dress-ups that they have, and he keeps his players loose. I think in the end they just love playing for him, and so because of that, I would tend to agree.
Well, he was voted last number of years as the manager that most players, and this is just not the Cubs players, most players would like to play for.
Two and two. I think guys like Madden, you know, have found out that there's a good blend between analytics and being kind of a human guy, you know, and relating to players, and getting the most out of them, and being, I don't know, kind of like a father figure, psychologist, all wrapped in one. Another one back out of play. Tough job, man. I mean, you got 25 different personalities in a clubhouse. A lot of different talent levels. You might have the veterans that are established and young players, and certainly Chicago has a lot of good young players.
Different nationalities,
right? Not to mention the sheer amount of games that you play. Again, the 2-2. I think you have to have a certain amount of patience as well, because guys will go through slumps and dry stretches. We've seen that here in Detroit. J.D. Martinez went through a really rough patch, but Brad stayed with him, and eventually he just busted out of it. Castellanos as well. Breaking ball stayed up. 3-2 on Rutledge.
And Verlander pitch count up to 75. So far, the Boston Red Sox hitters have been able to foul off quite a few of his fastballs, and you can see that ball just a little bit up in the strike zone.
Here's the 9th pitch in this at bat. And he finally got him. Rutledge is out on strikes, 2 gone.
Another breaking ball thrown to Rutledge on a 3-2 pitch, and it stayed up, but he wasn't able to get to it. Sort of a check swing.
Jackie Bradley Jr. walked with the bases loaded in his first at bat. Ball 1. Bradley played his college ball at South Carolina, was a member of their 2010 national championship team. Tremendous outfielder defensively. A little bit outside, 2-0 on Bradley Jr.
And Bradley Jr. may have been rushed to the big leagues. He really hadn't spent one full season at any of their minor league affiliates before bursting onto the big league scene when he did.
They go around. It's Ted Barrett down there at first base. Jim Verlander. Yes, he did.
Yeah, Mike's hot down there today.
Here's the 2-1. Hit that one a mile high. Popped up to the right side for Kinsler. And Verlander with a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th.
Loaded walk by Justin Verlander, then an infield single by Brock Holt. Played in the second run of that inning. That's all they've scored so far. And Tigers got on the board in the 3rd inning, a solid single to left field off the bat of Victor Martinez. Rajai Davis had reached base and stolen a base, and a wild pitch got him to 3rd.
So back to the hill goes the young left-hander Henry Owens, and he will face Nick Castellanos to lead things off as we play here in the bottom of the 4th. Castellanos lines one to left field. It is going to hang up long enough for DeAsa. 1 gone. Well, time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo using hashtag #DetroitDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. James McCann. Base on balls in the second. .289 average for McCann overall this year.
And such a quick out made there by Castellanos. And James McCann really took his time, and before he stepped into the batter's box, to make sure that Verlander had plenty of time to catch his breath before he has to go back out there.
It's in for a strike, 1-1. McCann over his last 24 games hitting at a .363 clip. They always talk about young catchers just concentrate on handling the staff and worrying about your defense, but McCann has been able to do that and hit the ball as well. It's going down the left field line to the corner and caught by De Asa. 2 gone. Bring up Marte. What's Mingy up to here?
Messing with the camera.
He just put a cup on the camera lens.
He must be bored.
Yeah, we got to get it back on the field. That ball is belted to center field, and it's going to be caught by Jackie Bradley Jr. What a catch!
Oh, he's got some range out there, and he knows that he loves to play defense.
He had that thing all the way. Jackie Bradley Jr. Look at this over the shoulder grab.
That's like Willie Mays' catch from back in the day. Spacious in the outfield, that allows him to roam around and use his speed. And boy, does he use his speed here. Ball directly over his head. He takes the right route, turns the right way, and makes a play right before he gets to the 420 sign in straightaway center field. What a play by Bradley Jr.
Meanwhile, Marte's got to be thinking, well, I mean, 410 to straightaway center. Almost to the wall, which is 420. I got nothing to show for it. Verlander back to work. He's got the top of the lineup to deal with now. It's Holtz, Castillo, and Bogarts. 2-1. Red Sox have the lead in this one as we go to the 5th. And it's in for a strike. Koji Uehara, the closer for the Red Sox, unavailable again today if that becomes an issue later on this afternoon. Wasn't able to pitch yesterday and not available today as well after he took a ball off his arm in Game 1. Back to the screen he goes. 0-2.
Didn't take his forearm to swell up after he took that hit off his arm a couple nights ago.
Got a bump on that thing quickly. 0-2 on Holt, who had a single infield hit to drive in a run. 1 for 2 in this game. Brock Holt played 1 year at Rice University in Houston, which is known for some big league talent. They produced Lance Berkman, Norm Charlton, one of the nasty boys. Popped up. Shallow center field. Ghost gets there. 1 gone. Well, Thursday, August 20th, the Tigers host the Rangers at Comerica Park at 7:08. First 10,000 fans 18 and older receive a free 2015 Tigers All-Star poster. For tickets, visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGERS. Mr. Iglesias on that poster, as is JD. Strike 1 on Rusney Castillo. Chasing 0-2. Castillo, one of the latest players to come over from Cuba. He had an oblique injury in spring training, which really hurt the beginning of the season for Castillo. And now with Victorino moving over to the Angels, he has seen extended playing time.
One thing about all the guys that have come over from Cuba now the last number of years, the brand of baseball that they play there has to be very good, because a lot of these guys have made seamless transitions into the major leagues, and these are the best players in the world.
Castillo did mention that the speed of the game has been an issue for him, and getting used to it. Not really an issue, but getting used to the speed here. But you're right. I mean, Abreu walked into the United States and then just mashed with the White Sox.
He sure did.
Cespedes has been a really good player from the get-go as well. Two and 2. Fouled away.
I was in the Red Sox clubhouse today, and Castillo was walking around. He's not a very big guy. He's not nearly as big as the other guys you mentioned, Cespedes, Puig, and Abreu. His game's built more on speed and defense.
A couple of home runs this year for Castillo. Bender got him, strike 3. Rusney did not like it. 5 strikeouts now for JB.
Verlander has had a really good changeup today. He's also thrown some good breaking balls, and what he's been able to do with the breaking ball, he's been able to locate it inside. He's located some at the top of the strike zone. He's located some down and away from the right-handed batter. So he has strategically moved his breaking ball all around the strike zone today, and it's been very effective.
So now here is Xander Bogaerts. Strike 1 to Bogaerts, a nice high strike that he's chatting with Ben May about. Verlander has gotten the benefit of the doubt on the last 2. He's averaged 20 pitches an inning through the first 4. The 0-1. Ortiz waiting his turn on deck. Here's the 1-1. Only 5 hits in this ball game between the two clubs. 3 for the Red Sox, only 2 for the Tigers. Victor Martinez an RBI single to get the Tigers on the board. And the Red Sox had to scratch in a couple of runs in the second. The 1-2. Bad couple of years for the Red Sox. They finished last year, and they're headed that way again this season.
They didn't expect to be where they are this year. That much is for sure. And with the new additions they made in the offseason to bolster their offense. But the Tigers, they didn't expect to be where they're at either this season.
Line drive left field. Rajay over his head. It'll go to the wall. And Bogaerts will go to second with a 2-out 2-base hit. That'll keep it going for Big Papi.
Big Papi's going to get a free pass down to first base. Rajay Davis didn't take the best route on this line drive off the bat of Xander Bogaerts. He came in a couple of steps, then he realized the ball had carry. Even though he leaped, he was not able to catch that ball.
Here comes Brad walking out. Little strategy session here. That'd be
is he going to give him the option of pitching to David Ortiz here?
I'd be kind of stunned, wouldn't you?
I would too.
I mean, Big Papi's had really good numbers against JV,
and he's absolutely torched Tigers pitching overall.
So we'll see what the decision is here. Ortiz a single and a strikeout in this game. There you go. 379 career against Verlander. Couple of homers. No intentional walk. Ball 1.
It may be one of these situations where he's going to walk him, but he's going to throw fastballs to walk him and not just simply lob the baseball up to the plate.
Now the 1-0. Again, same spot, 2 balls, no strikes.
And I don't know for certain, but that may have been what the conversation was about. I mean, we're going to walk him. Which way do you want to do it?
Now here they go. They couldn't get Ortiz to bite on either of the first 2, so they'll intentionally walk him. That'll put 2 Red Sox aboard here with 2 outs. 11th intentional walk of the season for Ortiz. By far the most on their team. 2 on, 2 out. So here is Travis Shaw. They're going to make Shaw beat him here in the 5th. Walking a fly out. Bogaerts doubled. Ortiz has walked. And Shaw looks at a strike. And Travis does have power. In fact, he's hit a lot of home runs in the minor leagues. What's wrong with Verlander now?
Oh no, he hopped off the mound, and James McCann got out there and walked out there as well. Now Brad and Kevin Durant look like they're going to come out. Oh, he twisted his right ankle.
Kevin Rand coming out.
Did he step in the landing spot of Henry Owens?
Ooh, good question.
I think he may have. Yeah, he stepped in the landing spot right there. Keep it right there. We'll go back to it. That's the landing spot of the other starting pitcher on their side. Right there.
Well, Verlander is convinced Kevin Randy's okay. He'll continue here. No balls, 1 strike. Travis Shaw, the batter. 2-1 ball game in the 5th. Good pitch, and it's 0-2.
Pitch number 100 just thrown by Justin Verlander, and here's the high-speed pitch, and it's brought to you by Xfinity. And Verlander, well, nothing wrong with the velocity. He's gotten all the way up to 97. I've seen several 96 readings, and there's been a bunch of 95s. So the fastball's firm, and it's in the mid-90s.
Problem today is that he's reaching 100 pitches in the 5th, where he'd done that in his last 3 starts from the 7th inning and beyond. So the pitch count way up today. Averaging 20 an inning. Shaw waiting on a 1-2. Down he goes with a swing and a miss. Verlander strikes him out, and they strand a pair. 6 strikeouts for Verlander. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Bell Tire by Myers. Save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet. Find new roads. Back here at Comerica. Tigers Red Sox wrapping up this series. It's a 1-run game here this afternoon. 2-1 Boston. Owens back to work as Anthony Ghost stands in. Ghost hit one back to the mound his first time up 0 for 1.
It's a good idea there by Anthony, and to see if he can reach by getting a bunt. We told you earlier that Owens has not given up a hit yet to a left-handed batter. It's only been 2 starts, but he has not given up a hit to a lefty.
That's a foul ball.
Yeah, hit the bat.
1-1. The Yankees left-handers were 0 for 7 in Owens' first major league start.
With 4 strikeouts. It's a 2-seam tailing fastball in that hit the knob of the bat.
2-1 on Ghost. 0 for 8 in the series. Davis next, and then Iglesias. 9-1-2. Way high, and now he's gone to 3-1. Owens had a 6-pitch 4th inning. He has walked 3 in this game. Full count now on Ghost.
Yep.
And he walked it. Ball 4, so another walk. 4 of them now for the lefty.
Here's our Chevy high-strength steal, and last time Rajay was on base, he stole second base. But look at Rajay looking right here. He takes a peek in, so he knows that the ball was not caught. It was a wild pitch. Therefore, Rutledge, the second baseman, could not deke him into sliding. He got to third base, and Victor able to pick him up.
And so far, the only run of the ball game for the Tigers. Davis stands in now with the man at first, nobody out.
Did not take Rajay Davis long while he was standing over at first base to decide when he could take a base. Anthony Ghost, we'll see if he wants to steal.
Now time called. Swihart goes out to the mound.
This is where they say Owens would benefit from Swihart being his catcher. He caught him in the minor leagues at a couple of different stops, and Swihart went out there and had to say only 2 words and came right back in.
Well, he's having trouble throwing strikes. Let's see if Swihart got him back on track here. Nope. 2-0.
Last time he fell behind Iglesias 2 balls and no strikes when the speedy Rajay Davis was on first base.
Popped up. See if it stays in play. Shaw has room. And Rajay's out, 1 gone. Just stayed in play. We'll bring up Iglesias. Pop-up ground out for Jose. Iglesias came into this game batting .370 versus left-handed pitch. Ghost has 16 stolen bases this year. He represents the tying run. 16 swipes is good for 6th in the American League.
Huge hole on the right side of the infield for Iglesias. He's gotten a ton of hits in this direction, and with Ghost being held on by the first baseman, he might just be able to shoot one through there, which would get Anthony Ghost with his speed all the way over to third.
Justin Masterson starting to warm up in the bullpen for the Red Sox. In for a strike.
Iglesias uses the entire field. That's why the batting average is up over 300. It's pretty much been over 300 all year.
Fouled back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes on Jose. Kinsler waiting on deck. Owens methodically trying to pitch his way through the 5th inning. Entered this season as the Red Sox #2 prospect. And another throw to first. The 0-2. We just got a piece of it staying alive.
Just about the entire afternoon, every single fastball that Owens has thrown to the right-handers, and the majority of the lineup is right-handed batters. They've been away. Very seldom has he gone inside. And the Tigers only have 2 hits.
Oh, they got him picked on. Shaw throws down to second, and he's out.
That's a nice job by the first baseman, Shaw. After Ghost was picked off, he basically met the baseball halfway after it was thrown by the pitcher, Henry Owens, over to him. And the reason why you do this is so that you can create a better angle for yourself to throw the ball down to the shortstop without throwing the ball into the back of the base runner. That's just a really nice job done by their first baseman.
They'll go as they caught stealing officially. No balls, 2 strikes now on Jose Iglesias. Popped him up. Third base side. Holt in foul ground, and just like that, the inning is over. No runs, a walk, nobody left. On our way to the 6th. Number retired by the Diamondbacks last night.
Most dominant pitcher that I've ever had a chance to watch every 5th day, the big unit.
And speaking of dominant, how about Strasburg last night? Off the disabled list with a 12 strikeout game and 3 hits.
And when Strasburg came off the disabled list, that pushed Doug Fister to the bullpen for the Washington Nationals.
Well, Verlander's going back out to the hill here in the 6th inning. The Tigers have Gorsolani and Phillies warming up. 2-1 is our score as we play here in the 6th.
Don't know for sure if Alex Wilson is available here today. He had been closing some games for the Tigers the last week or so, but he hasn't pitched in a couple of days. He's had some soreness in his arm.
The 0-1. High, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Man, Wilson's thrown a lot this year. The only other reliever in the American League that has thrown more innings this year is Dylan Betances of the New York Yankees, and a lot of times he's thrown 2 innings, Betances, as did Wilson when he first got here.
High fly ball, center field, routine for Ghosts. 1 out here in the 6th. Big crowd here this afternoon. They piled into Comerica Park on a nice Sunday afternoon. Let's see, what do we have here?
My mom makes great lasagna.
Okay.
Well, don't be afraid to share some. I like some lasagna now.
And Alaska's in the house here tonight. Or today.
You like lasagna?
Oh, I love lasagna. There's a drive to second, caught on a line by Kinsler, and there are 2 gone. Swihart is out of there. You just ask an Italian if he likes lasagna. Nicely done. It'll bring up Rutledge. Well, Verlander now has had 106, so this has been his quickest inning so far. Rutledge a single and a strikeout. Only 6 hits in this game between the 2 squads. 2 runs, 4 hits for Boston, 1 run, 2 hits for Detroit. Luke back out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike on Rutledge. Originally a 3rd-round pick of the Rockies, made his way to the Angels, where the Red Sox picked him up from.
Good pitch there by Verlander. 91 miles an hour on the inside part of the plate, but not given the call by Ben May. And Verlander thought it was a strike.
JB has gone as many as 117 this year.
Going right back in there with another good fastball. Got the call. Ooh, he didn't get the call that time either.
3-1.
Looks like he's making the right calls.
Ben May behind the plate today. Here's the 3-1. 3-2.
Haven't written Ben May's name on my scorecard very often this year. He must be one of the replacement guys that come up and take over for one of the regular guys when they go on vacation.
It's a first for me as well. For Mr. May. 3-2. We'll get back in the seats.
It's funny how we can remember some stuff like that.
But the important stuff, well, that's a different story.
Stuff that really matters.
Right. Jackie Bradley Jr. waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2 again. Swing and a miss. Verlander struck him out with a fastball. That is 7 punch-outs for JB in a 1-2-3 6th inning. Tigers coming up down by a run. Ian Kinsler starting things off as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning in a 2-1 ball game. Kinsler, Martinez facing the lefty Henry Owens. And Ian, in fact, has one of the 2 hits that Owens has allowed. That was a double off the glove of the third baseman Holtz. Here's the 1-1. Drill to left field. That is down the line. Fair ball. It'll hop into the seats. A ground rule double for Kinsler. His second double of the afternoon. Nobody can get him out. Tying run in scoring position now.
It really doesn't matter what pitches Ian Kinsler getting these days. That would be a hanging breaking ball thrown by Henry Owens. It's going to be the last pitch he throws of the day, and he hits it down the left field corner for another double. Second hit of the game for Ian Kinsler, who now has 44 multi-hit games, which leads the majors.
One more than the guy he was traded for, Prince Fielder. Wallside windows pitching change. The lefty is out of the ball game. They go to the pen. We'll be back as Masterson comes in. Ten and a half. The Tigers 11.5 back. Tigers, of course, are along with Minnesota concentrating on the wild card.
Was there a better free agent signing in the offseason than Kendry Morales of the Kansas City Royals?
I'd have to think about it, but he certainly would be in the top 5, wouldn't he?
Man, oh man, has he done very well in the middle of that order for the Royals.
Justin Masterson is in now for Boston.
And 17 games so far pitched in this year by Masterson. 58 in the third innings. The ERA sitting over 5.5. The whip over 1.5. Justin pretty much fastballs these days. 2-seamers with a lot of sink. 90 to 93. An occasional slider, an occasional changeup, as we saw a couple of nights ago.
Victor sends a ground ball up the middle. Bogarts throws him out. Runner advances.
Victor Martinez, even though he is a serious power threat, you can tell with a runner on second base and nobody out. He took this ball, which is a 2-seam fastball, away from him, and he simply got out and around it to try to hit the ball back to the right side of the infield to try to get the job done by getting the runner over to third base. Very unselfish at bat there by Victor. You can see him getting lots of handshakes and high fives by grounding out there.
Infield coming in now for the Red Sox, trying to cut down the tying run, which stands at third base and 1 out. J.D. Martinez fly out and a walk. Fouled back, 0-2. Masterson appeared in the first game of the series, pitching a scoreless 8th. And J.D. Martinez is out on strikes. That's big out there for Masterson.
3 fastballs thrown to J.D. Martinez, all of them up in the strike zone. The last of which was probably out of the strike zone.
We'll bring up Castellanos. Masterson started the 9th inning leading 7-2 in that game, but loaded the bases. They had to go to Uehara to get the save in that game. Castellanos fouls it off 0-1. Nick could pop up and a line out to left. Tigers trying to avoid stranding a leadoff double. Just missed the glove, or the outside part of the plate. He hit the glove, but a tad outside. 1-1. Two and 1 the count. Orsolani is the only guy warming up now for the Tigers in their bullpen. The 2-1 pitch inside, 3-1. Masterson began his major league career in Boston, was then traded to the Indians in the deal with Victor Martinez, going the other way.
He became the ace of the Cleveland Indian staff there for a couple of years.
Here's the 3-1, and it's outside, gets away, but Kinsler thought better of it. Ball 4 will put runners at first and third.
And nowhere for Ian Kinsler to go. That ball did not get that far away from the catcher, Swihart.
So here is McCann now with 2 outs. See if James can get it done. 0 for 1 with a walk. Bouncing ball to short. Bogaerts has it there. They'll get the force at second to end the threat. Tigers get a leadoff double by Kinsler, but fail to score it.
this afternoon on 2 runs. Most of his fastballs were up in the strike zone all afternoon long. He did throw some real good breaking balls, some good changeups. And then when he got them looking for that, he simply went right back upstairs again with good fastballs. He topped out at 97 here today, and a lot of fastballs that Verlander threw were in the 95-mile-per-hour range.
Well, Tom Gorsalani is back with the ball club in the Wallside Windows pitching change. He is on now to pitch the Tigers, for the Tigers, in the 7th.
And number is not pretty. And for Gorsalani earlier this year, he was released basically, but accepted an assignment to go down to the minor leagues to try to find himself, and went down there and pitched well with a new arm slot, new arm angle. Hopefully he could get some outs, because he pitched very well last year for the Milwaukee Brewers.
11 strikeouts over 9 games with the Mud Hens. Opponents were batting just 167 versus Gorsalani. Hopefully a better result here in his second tour of duty. Bradley leads it off, ball 1. Bases loaded and walked for Bradley in the 2nd. Forced in a run.
Here's the new delivery. And for Gorsalani, you can see right before he releases the ball, he drops down to a lower 3/4 arm slot. And hopefully that will help him get left-handers out a little bit more efficiently, which he was struggling doing the first 3 months of the year.
Way outside, 2-1. Pulled foul. By the way, did you know that Jackie Bradley Jr. is a distant relative of Michael Jordan?
No, I did not know that.
Jordan's grandfather and Jackie's great-great-grandmother were siblings.
Okay.
So distant would be an appropriate word, I suppose, but related nonetheless.
Third cousin on your daddy's side.
Right, something like that. It's a 2-2. Outside 3-2 now on Bradley. Well, I guess Norris was telling Auspice that they're related.
Right.
Somewhere down the line.
After Norris pitched that first game in Baltimore, Brad claimed it.
High fly ball, right field, hit pretty good. Martinez going back, and that ball's going to carry out.
No, he didn't.
Come on.
Come on. Not Bradley Jr.
Jackie Bradley Jr. not only hit a home run here, his 2nd of the year, but to one of the deepest parts of the park.
Against a left-hander. That is a fastball that is belt buckle high that Jackie Bradley Jr. gets underneath and hits it over the out-of-town scoreboard.
You've got to be kidding. It just kept going.
That is his 2nd career home run against the left hand.
You could tell by the way that JD was playing that ball that it had some carry to it. They could carry out. 2nd RBI of the day for Jackie Bradley. Ball low to Holt. 2 balls, no strikes on Brock Holt. 3-1 ball game. Now the Red Sox have added 1 more. Right back off of Gorsalani. It's going to cue back toward the 2nd baseman, and Kinsler throws out Holt.
Can I get his hand? I think I got Gorsalani's hand.
Here comes Brad. Bringing the hook with him. So Gorsalani will face 2 batters. Castillo, then Bogarts lurking.
Yep, that ball hit right off the left hand.
So Gorsalani will depart. And Neftali Feliz coming in a 3-1 ball game.
Tigers had some kind of day. Here's just an outstanding catch that he made with his back to play, going up against the wall of 420 sign. Then he plays long ball against Tom Gorzolani, his second home run of the year. We mentioned that he is a distant cousin of Michael Jordan. If he keeps swinging the bat like that, he might get him some of those Michael Jordan cleats some of the players are wearing.
Well, he should already anyway.
He might get him a shoe contract.
Here's Phillies checking in now for the Tigers out of the bullpen.
Elevated numbers for Neftali Phillies, a guy that has a fastball that gets up to 97 miles an hour and a couple of other usable pitches. He's been hit around quite a bit this year.
Rusney Castillo is 0 for 3 today. Strikeout, ground out, pop up. 3-1 Boston. We're in the 7th. Bouncing ball to short. Iglesias easy hop. 2 gone. Ian Kroll is up in the bullpen. And should Bogarts keep it going, Ortiz would be next.
And the Tigers have 3 lefties in their bullpen that they can use at any point in time. We've seen Gorzolani, Kroll up. They also have Blaine Hardy down there.
I don't think Blaine's available today. We don't know that for sure, but he threw a lot of pitches yesterday.
It's a good point.
Swing and a miss.
And he's thrown a lot of pitches this year.
Xander Bogaerts doubled in his last at bat with 2 outs. And they intentionally walked Ortiz and got out of the inning by striking out Shaw. 1 ball, 1 strike. Phillies made that adjustment, going from the first base side of the slab to the third base side of the slab. In there, a strike. 1-2. Robbie Ross Jr., the left-hander, warming up. (3-1) Boston. We're in the 7th. Got him, strike 3, and Bogaerts did not like it at all. That'll end the inning. They get a run on the homer by Bradley. Brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives to Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Back here at Comerica Park, Mario and Pemba alongside Ron Allen. Glad you are with us here today. 3-1 is our score as the Tigers will come up here in the 7th inning. Ron, we'll talk about Justin Verlander first. JV's pitch count was up. I think he was averaging about 20 pitches per inning going into the 6th or 7th inning, but really not a bad outing today.
No, not too bad. First couple of innings, the Boston Red Sox, as they do every single time they go out there, they foul off a lot of pitches. That got the pitch count up, but I was encouraged by the velocity. Got up to 97. A lot of mid-90s fastball. Good off-speed pitches today as well.
You know, it's a big game for the Tigers. We talked about this at the top of the show. They've got this big, long road trip coming up through some really tough cities. KC, Houston, then into the Cubs. Got to win this ball game today.
Well, it'd be nice to win a series, and it'd be a happy flight over to Kansas City. They got to start making up some ground. Not only do they need to start winning series, they need to start sweeping some series as well.
Jackie Bradley Jr., man, this guy came out of nowhere today.
How about that? Batting the buckets and change, but he makes a really nice play. But he's played well defensively since coming to the big leagues, but offense just hasn't come there for him yet. But he showed up for his squad this afternoon.
All right, we'll see what the Tigers can do here as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning at the ballpark. And the Tigers find themselves down by a couple of runs. We'll see if they can get the bats going here. As Masterson will go out there for another inning of work. Masterson was able to come on in the 6th inning and get the 3 outs after the leadoff double. Hey, calling all Upers, get a special Tigers Uper t-shirt and a ticket to see the Tigers take on the Rangers August 22nd. 7:08 p.m. start here at the ballpark when you buy a special Uper ticket package exclusively at Tigers.com/Uper. It'll be Jeffrey Marte to lead it off here in the 7th, and Anthony Ghost and Rajai Davis. Marte in the ball game 0 for 2, but the ball he hit in his last at bat was to deep center, and Jackie Bradley Jr. made that over the shoulder incredible grab in center field. Two-run spread now for the Red Sox. They lead 3-1. And Jeffrey Marte stands in and looks at ball 1 from Masterson. Marte now 1 for 6 in the series. Checked it. Did not go. Oh, we did, says Scott Barron.
Oh my goodness. That's a check swing.
I agree. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball that bends in but not close enough to the strike zone. 2-1.
Huge breaking ball there thrown by Masterson. Got a lot of break to it.
Low 3-1. Masterson got into trouble in the first game of this series. Gave up a couple of walks in the 9th inning trying to protect a 7-2 lead.
Marte should get a ball that he could hit extremely hard right now from Masterson.
Grounded toward third, foul. Full count 3-2. Owens started, gave way to Masterson in the 6th. In the air to left field and deep. That ball is way up there and gone.
I'll say he got something that he could hit hard.
Marte's 3rd home run of the year. It's a 1-run lead again. Boston got an insurance run, but they've given it right back.
Boston Red Sox bench is very upset at Marte for this bat flip right here. I mean, when he got to home plate, there were several guys up on the top step jawing at Marte. Not only did he flip the bat, but a little skip too.
Wow. So Masterson surrenders the homer. He'll surrender the baseball now as he will head to the bench. Marte celebrating that home run. It's made it a 3-2 ball game. Another pitching change. We'll be back.
Right around the belt buckle, he lifts, he separates, gets underneath it, and absolutely kills it. He was swinging the bat very well in AAA before they called him up to the big leagues.
Yeah, he was the International League Player of the Month before the call-up. That's a huge home run. Ghost trying to bunt. He offered. Robbie Ross Jr., the new pitcher for Boston.
Thought his name was Chuck.
That's his dad's name.
Oh, okay.
That's his dad's nickname, actually. Foul back out of play. Missed it the other night. Robbie Ross Jr., but his dad's name was Chuck. We couldn't figure it out, but apparently his dad went by Chuck.
I think Robbie's middle name is Charles.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So he's got some Chuck, some Charles somewhere in there.
It's back out of play. 0-2 on Ghost. Anthony in the ball game. Milwaukee to ground out.
I think Robbie Ross flows a little bit better than Chuck Ross anyway.
Yeah, it sure does. Ball high, 1-2. Junichi Tazawa.
He gave up a big home run yesterday to Victor.
And again, keep in mind, Uehara, their closer, not available today. That one just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ross came in relief of Kelly on Friday night and inherited a couple of base runners. Got a strikeout and a ground out to strand them both. Swing and a miss, and Ghost is out, 1 gone. Back up to the top of the lineup now, Rajai Davis. Rajai 0 for 2. He does have a walk and a run scored, plus a stolen base. He swiped his 17th back in the 3rd. In there, a strike on the outer edge. Robbie Ross has been up and down between Boston and their AAA team in Pawtucket. 5 major league stints this year. That's a lot of up and down. 1-1. Davis takes outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two Tigers runs today, scoring on a Victor Martinez RBI single in the 3rd, and now the Marte home run in the 7th. High 3-2 on Rajai Davis. Bouncing ball left side, tough play down to a knee. Holt, his throw, got him at first base.
What a play there by Holt. This guy plays everywhere on the field and yet comes up and makes a really nice play to take a base hit away from Rajai Davis. He knows once he leaves his feet, he's got to get up in a hurry because Rajai has outstanding speed, and he's able to get Rajai by a step.
What a clutch play at a big time in the game, too.
A lot of times, Rajai Davis' singles turn into doubles.
So here is Iglesias.
Brock was an all-star this year.
He has played 7 different positions at the major league level. That was a whale of a play. Played second base in the first 2 games in this series.
Yeah, he's not pitched and he hasn't caught.
Now it's 0-2 on Iglesias.
He don't give you much of a target when he's over at first base either.
No, not at all.
He's a little guy. I saw him down in the cage today. I went down there to say hello to my good buddy, good friend, Chili Davis. I hadn't seen him since he'd been here.
Cued to the right side of the infield. Better hurry. And Ross got there in time. So that'll be it for the Tigers. However, they get a little bit closer. Jeffrey Marte lifting one into the seats in the left, and now a 1-run game.
Lackland landed awkwardly in the landing spot of Henry Owens, the opposing pitcher. And Brad went out to talk with him along with Kevin Durant, and then Verlander got busy after that, retired the next 4 batters in a row, and fastballs getting up to 96, 97 miles an hour today.
Well, we go to the 8th inning now. The Tigers have a new pitcher. That'll be the left-hander Ian Kroll coming out of the bullpen.
And Kroll has pitched 20 2/3 innings so far this year, logging 25 games, 21 strikeouts, 12 base on balls for Kroll. Fastball anywhere from 93 to 95. He's got a curveball, changeup. Occasionally will be used by Ian.
So with Kroll coming on, it's going to be Ortiz, Shaw, and De Asa, 3 lefties for Boston. And Big Papi looks at a strike. 3 runs, 5 hits, Boston. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Tigers. Here's the 0-1. Whistled foul, back out of play. 0-2 on Ortiz. Single intentional walk today for Big Papi. Now the 0-2. Well, they beat the ship.
Stop it, Papi.
Second hit of the game for Ortiz. Didn't the other one go to left field too?
Well, basically he is just taking what the Tigers have been willing to give him today. He knows he's already done a lot of damage in the series. Home run balls to right field. So therefore he knew coming today that he was not going to get anything inside. So he has simply taken 2 lousy singles to left field.
Travis Shaw. Drilled to center field. That's going to be a base hit. Ortiz will go to second.
This is not what they were looking for, bringing the left-hander into the game to go after the first 2 left-handers who have reached safely.
You don't pitch run for Papi here, do you?
I don't think so. A 1-run game. He's going to come up again. The Tigers have the ability to come back and tie the score. Diaz is going to be bunting more than likely. It's an 0-2 pitch that he gave a base hit to Ortiz on. So Kroll's kind of created this mess himself.
So Diaz now will try and move the runners up.
Here's where the corner infielders, they really need to be aggressive if they're charging. That way they might be able to get Ortiz at third.
Bunted at third base. Castellanos. His throw just got him by half a step.
Wow, barely got him.
Nick took his time on that play and almost paid for it.
Really good bunt there by De Asa. He made sure he made Castellanos come and get it, which meant that David Ortiz had a clear view at getting the third. He shouldn't waste the challenge on that. He was out.
Now John Farrell's looking at it right now, but I'm sure they'll tell him don't do it. And they won't. Here's Blake Swihart. So the 3 lefties that face Ian Kroll, 2 singles and a sacrifice, putting runners in second and third, 1 out. Infield in a few steps. Ortiz at third base does not run well. Foul straight back, 0-1.
That's why the Tigers infield is not all the way in at the cut of the grass, because they still feel like the depth that they're playing right now, if the ball's hit on the ground, that any of the infielders, they can still throw Ortiz out at home plate. Now a faster base runner on third, you see the infielders all the way up at the cut of the grass.
Here's the 0-1. Another foul straight back, 0-2 on Swihart.
Well, you might as well climb the ladder with another fastball up, but make sure you get it up to see if the rookie catcher will swing at it.
Fouled away. Swihart today has hit the ball a couple of times, lined out to the second baseman, flat out to the right fielder, and a reach on an error by Kinsler. Albuquerque heating up in the Detroit bullpen. good block. McCann 1-2.
Outstanding 0-2 pitch and an even better block by the catcher James McCann. That's a breaking ball. He gets down and he smothers it and keeps it right in front of him.
Ooh. 2-2.
Good fastball, 94 miles an hour, but Ben May really hasn't been all that generous on a lot of the pitches that have gone inside for either team today.
Kroll ready with the 2-2. Low 3-2.
If you're Kroll, you might want to go with a breaking ball here, something that can get you the strikeout. If you throw a fastball, more than likely Swihart's going to put that in play because he's seen so many fastballs already in this at bat. But a breaking ball might just get the swing and miss.
Swing and a miss.
What a pitch. What a pitch.
Tied him up.
What a pitch.
2 gone.
It's a nice job here by Kroll.
So now with 2 outs, here is Rutledge, the number 8 hitter.
Putting him on.
Yep, looks like they're going to walk him with Jackie Bradley Jr. on deck.
It's the right call. Even though Bradley did homer against Gorzolani his last time up, this is the absolute right call.
Rutledge was 1 for 3, struck out his last 2 times up, but he'll get the intentional pass. And there's ball 4. So that will load the bases. Well, Jackie Bradley's done it with the glove, with the bat. He's going to try and do it again with his bat. Solo homer against Gorzolani, a lefty, the last time he was at the dish. And a strike, 0-1.
Second career intentional free pass for Rutledge.
Ball high, 1-1. Inning started with 2 singles. Ortiz and Shaw, they were sacrificed up. In there is strike 1 and 2 on Bradley.
Kroll throwing hard. Most of his fastballs have been located in a nice area at 94 miles an hour.
Lifted out of play. Bradley also had a bases loaded walk in the second, forcing in a run, so 2 RBIs today. Holt, the leadoff man, waiting on deck. Again, the 1-2. Bouncing ball, foul, first base side. Kroll trying to put him away. And he missed. Bradley would not bite on that pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ian now has thrown 22 pitches in this inning. Way high, and the count's gone to 3-2. Well, Bradley already has a base loaded walk in this game. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. Driven down the right field line. It is a fair ball. It's going to go to the corner. Ortiz scores. Shaw scores. Rutledge coming around. He will score. Jackie Bradley Jr. having a day with a huge triple.
Jackie Bradley Jr. now has 5 RBIs in the game. Came in hitting a .110 in the contest.
They want Rutledge to get to Bradley, and this is the result.
Fastball that is right down the middle, right in the happy zone, the nitro zone of Bradley Jr. He whistles it down into the right field corner for a stand-up triple. Man, boy, oh boy. 3 hits in this inning given up by Kroll to left-handed batters.
Yep. The singles by Ortiz and Shaw, now the triple by Jackie Bradley Jr. Here's another lefty stepping in. Brock Holt looks at a strike. 6 runs on 8 hits now for Boston.
5 RBI has to be a career high for the youngster Bradley Jr.
I would think so. Triple homer, bases loaded walk. A 3-run 8th inning here for Boston. They're up by 4.
I have just been told that it is a career high in the RBI department for Bradley Jr.
Previous high was 3. That's drilled to center field, a base hit. That'll get another run in. And Boston now leads 7-2. It's a 2-out RBI hit from Brock Holt. And that's going to be it for Ian Kroll. So the lefty's doing all the damage here against Kroll.
As you mentioned earlier, probably no Blaine Hardy here today, which meant that Kroll had to be used in this situation where Hardy more than likely would have been used, and the result's not good today for Ian.
Albuquerque comes trotting in. 7-2 ball game. We'll be back. Boston leads it 7-2 now with a 4-run 8th inning. Albuquerque comes out for the Tigers. And he'll face Rusney Castillo here with a man on and 2 men out. He'll deliver ball 1.
Albuquerque has been in 48 games this year out of that Tigers bullpen, has 46 strikeouts, so nearly averaging a strikeout per contest. Fastball 93 to 95. Slider is his best pitch. As a matter of fact, even when he falls behind 2 balls and no strikes, he has enough confidence in throwing that slider for a strike, even more so than the fastball. Here it comes.
Big swing.
And there are not many guys in the big leagues that are like that. When they fall behind, usually it's a fastball. More than likely, you get a breaking ball from Albuquerque.
So it's to the point now where if you're up 2-0 in the count, you look slider?
No, you can't do it. I mean, runners in,
you're a dead dog.
I mean, runners in scoring position, you know, you might want to take you might want to do that, you know, to drive in a run. But usually when you're in that fastball count, you want to sit on your fastball. But there are times where guys will do it.
Sit and turn.
That's right, like Gates Brown used to say. Sit and turn, son.
3-1 on Rusney Castillo. 7 runs, 9 hits now for Boston.
Back in those days, the hitting coach kept it real simple.
Well, you didn't have video or any of that stuff.
No, you didn't have that.
You have today. There's a walk to Castillo, so that'll put 2 on now.
Not all the scouting reports and all the other stuff. Back in the day, you used to kind of watch the guy down in the bullpen. If the mound was in view of the play, you kind of just sit out of the dugout and just kind of watch the guy, kind of see what he was throwing. Yeah. Nowadays, it's done for him.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, here's Bogaerts.
He's been really good this year with runners in scoring position. One of the best in baseball.
Xander Bogaerts came in the best. Runners in scoring position, 404 to be exact.
That is really good for a young player. It usually takes young players a lot longer than that to really learn how to hit in high leverage situations, but it's been a really positive year for the youngster Xander.
1 ball, 1 strike. He's got a double in the ball game today, 1 for 4. Runner breaking to third, bouncing ball to second. Kinsler has it there, and that'll retire the side. 9 men to the plate, 4 runs in. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Red Sox has put them up by 5 runs in this game. And Junichi Tazawa coming on now for the Red Sox.
49th game this year for Tazawa, 326 earned run average. He is very stingy as far as the base on balls are concerned. He has only won 7 all year, and he has punched out 48, so a strikeout per outing for Junichi.
Ian Kinsler will be starting things off.
Ian Kinsler is sizzling hot. We've well documented that. We talked about him at the top of the show. As a matter of fact, he doubled in his very first at-bat today, and he also doubled in his last at-bat. And now 44 multi-hit games for Ian Kinsler, Tigers' second baseman, which is the most in the American League.
We'll get it started now against Tazawa here in the 8th. Kinsler, Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez. Popping straight up on the first pitch. Swihart, tough play. 1 out. Oh, we got Victor Martinez.
Victor hit a big home run against Tazawa in last night's game. It turned out to be the game winner. It happened in the 7th inning. It looked like a fork ball that didn't tumble. Sat up there very nicely for Victor, who was able to take a pitch that was out on the outer third and get around it and hit it out to right field. Speaking of those 44 multi-hit games for Ian, that's the most in the majors.
Oh, not just the AL?
The majors, yeah.
There's a ball low to Martinez. Victor singled in a run against the starter Henry Owens way back in the 3rd. Tigers also had a home run from Marte, a solo shot. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes on Victor. Drill to right field down the line. That ball is hooking. Man.
He's been turning on stuff lately, man.
Yes, he has.
I mean, it's almost like night and day from 3 days ago. That second game of the Kansas City series, and no bat speed whatsoever, but a slight adjustment with the foot closing up and also standing a little bit more upright, and the bat speed has all of a sudden come back for Victor.
Tazawa had to be thinking, did he get me again? But he yanked it foul.
He doesn't know what to throw Victor. That was a fastball, and the home run last night was on a splitter.
Throw to center field. Bradley on the run for this one. He'll get there, and there are 2 gone. Check in with Justin White now with a preview of Tigers Live postgame.
He dressed in white, too.
Hey, Mario, as always, we'll have all your postgame coverage coming up right after the game on Tigers Live. I'll head inside the clubhouse, talk with Justin Verlander about his day, and also ask the Tiger hitters what made Henry Owens perhaps effectively wild. Johnny Kane and Craig Monroe will be in the Coliseum studios with all your highlights and analysis on Tigers Live immediately after the game, guys. Back to you for now.
Hey, J-Dub, that is a fabulous combination you've got going on today.
You know what, Mario? I actually got married in this suit.
Did you really?
On the beach.
You're clean, boy.
I only busted out on special occasions.
And, well, that would be the Red Sox coming to town, right?
Oh, beautiful Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Summertime. That's it.
Thanks, buddy. J-Dub, man. What do you like to say? Cleaner than the Board of Health.
Cleaner than the Board of Health.
0-1 the count on J.D. Martinez.
And you know the Board of Health is clean.
It better be. 2 outs, nobody on. High, towering fly ball, left center field. Bradley will get to that one as well, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Tazawa. So we go to the 9th. right-handers, and well, they're going to see 3 pretty good ones.
Well, 3 right-handers, Cueto, Ventura, and Volquez. All 3 of those guys have mid-90s fastballs. They're going to see a couple of rookies. That would be Boyd and Norris, and in the middle would be Anibal Sanchez.
Here is David Ortiz leading it off in the 9th inning, 7-2 in favor of the Red Sox here.
If you throw him a slider, make sure you don't hang it inside. Big Papi has done a lot of damage to the pull field already in the 7-game series.
Ortiz, Shaw, De Aza. On the ground to the right side, right into the shift for Kinsler, and Papi is out, 1 gone. They'll bring up Travis Shaw. The big inning in this game was the 4-run 8th. Ian Kroll came out of the bullpen and faced 4 left-handers in that inning. They all got hits against him, including a bases-loaded triple by Jackie Bradley Jr. Strike called. Shaw with a single and a walk in this game. 0-2 now on the Sox first baseman. Albuquerque came on to get the final out in the 8th. The 0-2. Got him, strike 3 in the outside corner. Took it looking. We'll bring up De Aza. They follow the Tigers all season in 2015 with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. And Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat, smartphone or tablet. Strike 1 on De Aza. Oh for 3, had a sacrifice to move a couple of runners up. That was in the 8th. 0-2 the count. High. Ball 1. Tigers in the bottom of the 9th have Castellanos, McCann, Marte due up. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on De Aza. After the Royals series, the Tigers go to Houston to play the Astros, and then they go to the Cubs. They all done with all the renovations at Wrigley?
I'm not sure if they're done with all of the renovations, but they've gotten the left field seats done. They've gotten the right field seats done. They've done quite a bit of stuff.
Iglesias throws out De Aza. 1-2-3-9 for Albuquerque. Tigers coming up with their last chance.
Need an elevator there, that much we do know.
down 7-2 in this ball game, and you can see the Tigers take on the Rangers. That's Thursday, August 20th, 7:08 p.m. Get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, 4 drinks, all for just $76. It's the Tigers weekday value pack. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. We've got a new pitcher now to try and close it out for Boston, Gene Machi.
Hey, Machi pitching in his 4th game. Tigers have already seen him in this series. 2 2/3 innings pitched. He has given up 3 earned runs.
And he's going to face Nick Castellanos to lead it off. The Tigers have only 4 hits this afternoon. Castellanos, then McCann, then Marte facing Machi. First one is in for a strike on the outer edge, 0-1.
Did you see where Frank Gifford passed away today?
No. Really?
Yeah.
How old?
Well, I'm not sure how old he was. They say natural causes, but man.
84.
Man.
1 ball, 1 strike. Castellanos pop up, otherwise, I should say walk, otherwise pop up, fly out, 0 for 2. Missed outside again, 2 balls, 1 strike. Machi was acquired from the San Francisco Giants. Here's the 2-1. Checked it. Did not go. I don't believe. Nope. 3-1.
He and Sandoval, they can pass for brothers.
Yeah, both former Giants too. Here's the 3-1. On the outer edge, 3-2. Was walking into the ballpark today, and I passed Machi. I said, "Oh, there's Pablo." No, that's Machi. No, that's Pablo. Couldn't figure out who it was.
They resemble one another.
Here's the 3-2. Just missed outside. Leadoff walk. Second walk of the game for Castellanos. Well, as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Detroit Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Here is James McCann. Way outside, 1-0 on McCann. San Francisco waived Machi. That was on July the 28th. He was designated for assignment. Claimed off the waiver wire. McCann in the ball game is 0 for 2 with a walk. That's it for a strike, 1-1. Toronto beat the Yankees again.
Swept them.
2-0. They are now a game and a half out of first place in the East. Strike called, 1-2 now on McCann.
Yankees are probably wishing that they made a pretty significant upgrade to their team at the trade deadline, which they did not do this year.
Checked it. Did not go.
Because I can't even think of another trade deadline that had a couple of players the caliber of a David Price and a Troy Tulowitzki changing teams and both landing in the same spot.
Yeah. Well, right now the Blue Jays lead or have the top wild card position. The Angels are in the second wild card position. Swing and a miss. McCann is out of there. But now if you're the Blue Jays, you got to be wondering, wait a minute, we can win this division now.
I think they were thinking that all along.
Yeah.
Marte homered his last time up and had a serious bat flip, and they didn't appreciate it over in the Boston Red Sox dugout.
Third home run of the year for Marte. Is coming to the big leagues. And he looks at a strike, 0-1. Marte now at 243. That's in the air toward right field. Hit well. And over there to make the catch, Castillo. Nice running play by Castillo.
There's already been some really nice defensive plays in their outfield. Castillo is a center fielder by trade himself. Well, with Bradley Jr. and Castillo in the outfield together, they run down everything.
Marte has hit 3 balls on the nose here today. Don't forget that one that he hit back in the 4th. That great over-the-shoulder catch by Bradley. Then the homer in that one looked to be a gapper.
Yeah, in another ballpark, he could have 3 homers.
There's Ghost, last chance for the Tigers, and he looks at a ball, 1-0.
2 for sure.
There's a strike call. Well,
he's in line to win this thing, isn't he?
He was, or he is, yeah, a while ago. He started this game a long while ago.
It'll be his first major league win.
And it's 1 strike away. Here is his line today.
Effectively wild. Only gave up 3 hits, but he threw 84 pitches in the 5 innings, and he was out there. Only a couple of strikeouts, and he walked 4.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss to strike him out, and that is that. So the Tigers coming into today, we're hoping to win a series, back-to-back series. It will not happen. Henry Owens' first big league win.
Yep, lots of handshakes and from his teammates, and an outstanding job today by the youngster Bradley Jr.
So the Red Sox win 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. Final score 7-2. We'll be back.